Welcome back to Nick Lynch's Comic Corner, Classic, Non-Classics. This is episode number 1666 and Doubleshot number 1560. Now, here's the thing about this book. Now, I did a review of the third volume for this book 5 years ago. Way back an episode, I'm looking at it right now, episode 252. Now, why did it take me so long to come back to this book? Didn't think of it. I thought it was quite odd. My local library didn't have this book, but I got this book and the following book. Following book I'll do in the next video. We have the very first volume of Batman Eternal, which in my opinion, this is one of 3 weekly series released from the period of 2014 to 2015. And this one is the only one that lasted 52 issues. The second one launched alongside of this one, not long after this one started, was New 52 Futures End, and they launched a third one at the same time. Earth 2 World's End. And you might find this interesting though. Now Marvel did launch their own weekly series in 2015. Except Marvel charged $3.99 an issue. Do you know how much DC charged for 52 issues of this book? $2.99. And here's a fun fact for you. I own all 52 issues of this book. Yep, I actually bought some of the stuff when it was coming. I actually had a job at that point. This was basically back in 2014. Now, this is the start of this very event. This very good event. Now, in these issues themselves, of course, several things to spin off from this one. A story arc in the page of Catwoman. A brief ongoing series by Gary Duggan, which we'll discuss in the next video. This book here contains the first 21 issues of Batman Eternal. Yep. Now, in the case of the writers of this book, oh boy, there is a lot of writers for these issues. Mostly put, the main story is done by Scott Snyder and Jameson IV, with other writers are being... Okay, here are your other writers. Aside from Scott Snyder, Jameson IV, you have John Layman, Ray Fox, Tim Seeley. Also, John Layman. Artwork by Jason Fabok, Dustin Egan, Gillian March, Michael Jenner, Andy Clarke, Chad McCarthy, Emil Simoni, Ricardo Pachi, Aaron Bergen, and that's it. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going on here. Like the stuff in issue 1, which basically actually is one of the main storylines in here, that actually gets wrapped up toward the end of it, but not the very end of it. There's this mysterious force basically going on here, like manipulating everything. Like, well, having a corrupt commissioner. Well, basically Commissioner Gordon is deal with a person who's related, deals with Carmine Falcone. And basically his action was shooting somebody, social Carmine Falcone, ends up causing a train crash. And of course, we also have the introduction of this book. Now this book does introduce the first post-Flash appearances of these following characters. Deacon Blackfire, Vicky Vale, Jason Bard, Maxie Zeus. Yep, Maxie Zeus in here. Now, Jason Bard himself never appeared part of this book. This book basically brought him in. And this book was also, in the very first issue, the first chronological post-Flash appearance of Stephanie Brown, a.k.a. Spoiler. And her father, Cluemaster, appears in here too. And, by the way, there's this guy named Forbes, who basically is an IA agent, who basically cooperates with the crooked mayor to basically make himself commissioner because, well, Gordon's in the picture. So we have a crooked commissioner whose only thing to do he does not want to arrest criminals per se. He wants to arrest Batman. That's all he wants to. He does not want to put people behind bars who actually commit actual crimes. No, go after the guy who actually tries to save frickin' Gotham City. We also have Batman Japan pops up in this book. Yep. And we also have the debut of Julia Pennyworth. Yes, if you don't know who that is, the daughter of Alfred Pennyworth, and this book here is her first post-Flash appearance. She actually made her last appearance back in the Bronze Age prior to this. Yes. And she's part of an organization that at the time this book came out did not actually allow women to join. And you're thinking, really? Now, why the heck would they not allow that to happen? Well, I don't know if it's like a stereotype. I'm not sure what it was. Yeah, at the time this book came out, women are not allowed part of the SAS. But in 2018 they did. Yeah. Her first ever appearance, well, chronologically wasn't Batman 28, but she did appear, like, in this book here for issue number 8. And you won't believe who else pops up in this book. Hush appears in here too. Yes, Thomas Elliot, Hush, appears in here. Because of course we gotta have Hush. He's a plot thread this whole thing, and he's just a red herring. At the end of this book, we actually have the return of the Architect. First time since the Gates of Gotham miniseries. Which I'll get to more of him in next trade. When I talk about the next video for this one. And, well, this book, really good. Oh, issue 11. I had to bring this up. Otherwise, there'll be people comments like, why are you talking about issue 11? Issue 11, the worst issue of this whole series. Bad artwork, bad storytelling. The only good about this book is the whole relationship between Alfred and Julia. That's the only thing good about this whole issue. The thing with Batgirl is so dumb. Like, okay, so, like, the thing with her is that she's obsessed with going after this soap opera actor, who turns out he had nothing much to do with this at all. And this guy, oh, he's standing this platform for several trains, so go investigate him. Yeah, this whole issue was a complete waste of time. I'm not sure why in the world this artist was allowed to do this issue at all. The artwork in this book is really bad for this issue. I love the Jason Maybach issues because I think he's a really good artist. And you might find this surprising, though. Tony S. Daniel never does an issue for this series. Well, not the trades I have. I think he maybe did. I don't think he did anything with this series, but this book is just really, really good. This is also with Harper Row. She has a little plot thread in here that basically allows her to become a full-fledged member of the Batman family. And this whole book basically stems from an issue from Batman 28, where that actually took place during a later issue. Yes, I don't think it's in this issue here. Let me take a look here about this one. Okay, now in the case of 28, which was a sneak preview to this series, this took place during issue 43, toward the end of this event. And you're thinking, really? Really? Yeah, but this book, really good. 9 out of 10. I will give it a 0.5, but they had a really bad issue in here. Alright, next a book written by one of the guys, the two guys over this book actually wrote some bad books. Well, Jeff Johns wrote Batman Earth 1, Peter Tomasi wrote a lot of bad books after this book came out. This is Brightest Day, Book 3, containing issues 17 and 24 of Brightest Day. Yes. Now, this book is basically wrapping up this whole entire event. Most of we have stuff with Hawkman, the stuff with Aquaman as well, which stuff with Black Manta and Jackson Hyde, which is also something applied to going on with him and Aquagirl, but that would imply he might be straight, but he's actually gay. Yep. And there's stuff with Hawk and Dove and Deadman. That actually is a bit of a setup for the Hawk and Dove ongoing series, which of course these two have a relationship. And in the case of Hawkman, well, after this book wraps up, you might think, does Zig explore in Savage Hawkman, which that was his next appearance after this one? No, that was something else altogether. Aquaman, his stuff was kind of explored in the pages of Aquaman that came after this one, also by Jeff Johns. Oddly enough, Jackson Hyde would not return after this until 2016, when he appeared in the pages of Teen Titans by Ben Percy. So that's the weird thing about this. Jackson Hyde disappears for 5 years before returning. Martian Manhunter. Does his stuff lead to much anything? No, not really per se. Yeah, he gets restored to life. He chooses Earth. And his next publication appearance after this one is in Stormwatch. Yep, Stormwatch. That's like I said, we see him. Deadman, aside appearing also in Hawk and Dove, he also appears as a feature for DC Universe Presents for the first 5 issues of that series. Also, this book brings about the return of Swamp Thing for the first time in the Prime Universe since the 80s. Which, of course, it comes back to kill a Black Lantern Swamp Thing. Yep. Excuse me. Yeah. This book is pure. We also return of the Anti-Modern here, which is so awesome. There's stuff in here with Firestorm as well, of course. Their next appearance is Fury Firestorm. But it's a reboot after this one. Now, aside from Jeff Johns' appearance in Must Be Writers, you artwork by Ivan Reyes, Adrian Stiff, Scott Clark, Patrick Gleason, and Joe Perito. Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason will actually do a book after this one, Batman Around Eternal. Ivan Reyes, I don't remember what book he worked on after this one, but this book is so good. I love it. This book does lead to a 3-issue miniseries published right after this one was ended, called The Search for Swamp Thing, which that leads into the Swamp Thing ongoing series by Scott Snyder. This book is fantastic. 10 out of 10. Really good. Okay, so that's it, speculative review, and that's it, videos tonight. So tomorrow, oh boy, a lot of videos tomorrow. Freya, Shaman King, K-Step Thanatos, and maybe Comic Corner and Time Corner is the Slime. Yep, roughly about 5 or 6 videos, okay? Next video. Bye.